All right, I'm introducing our theme for today. Our webinar is Feeling Alive This Spring, conversation about spiritual vitality. Today, I feel a little bit alive because there's some sunlight going on outside. I went outside. It's not that cold. I just need a little jacket, but I feel a little bit alive. And I was able to say to my kid this morning, today we're going to have a great day. So my name is Greishen. I'm from Bistro Families here, program manager, and I'm going to allow Tiffany to go ahead and introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. I am Tiffany Murphy. I am the training and technical assistance provider. I travel. It's very good, Gresham, to be here with you because I'm normally in the air flying from city to city and across the country. But I have this moment to talk about spiritual vitality, which is really good because I have some good things to share.
Mhm. Thank you, Tiffany, for sharing. Yes, I can't wait to hear those comments and from the people that we have in the room as well. All right, tool for today. So I'm gonna go ahead and Tiffany, would you like to read the what spiritual vitality is?
Sure. So today we're going to be talking about spiritual vitality, and it does not always consist of your religion, right? But also the energy. So I'm going to give you a brief definition of what spiritual vitality is. It's a feeling of completely being alive and full of positive energy. Questions in this domain focus on cultivating spiritual virtues such as creativity, hope, love, faith, courage, humility, and kindness. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be talking about today. How are we feeling alive?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this Journey to Vitality Cafe focuses on 6 domains, but today we're focusing on the spiritual. So let's see how we're feeling alive today. We're gonna go dive into those conversations and give people story and their perspective and what they're doing to feel alive. So thank you. All right. So I just want to remind everyone of their agreements, and I'm going to go ahead and read the question and open the floor to everyone and for them to add to this conversation that we're going to have together. So, how does spirituality impact your life? How does spirituality, I'm over here having a hard time pronouncing it, okay? How does spirituality impact your life? How does it impact your life, right? So for me, right, spirituality, the way it impacts my life, I think I have to um be how I say it, my energy. I have to check my energy to making sure that I'm completely present to things that I want to be completely present. Because that's how I'm able to basically, check myself and making sure that it's not impacting my life in a negative way. So that's the way I do it. So checking myself, where's my energy at? It's my release. Brenda shared it's my release. Mhm.
I think for me, how it impacts my life, it just makes me feel so good about myself, right? When I'm open and I'm feeling positive, I know that I can do anything, and again, it's not just religion. It's seeing my grandbaby when I'm having those low points and everything, just going to see him or looking at a picture or video and see that smile and that
Mhm.
laughter and him talking at 2 months. It just really, really does something for my energy. It's like I can conquer the world now.
Mhm. Mhm. Like having those people that help you and assist you to lift your energy up and spirit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear that. Yeah.
And I think I was saying this earlier, Gretchen, the different villages I have, right? A lot of people were saying, I remember saying that, it just seemed like the village is gone. Nobody can talk to people, kids, but I have such a strong support system and such a strong village that I don't, they help me be who I am right now today. And that is just like a big wow for me because just when you sometimes think that you don't have anybody to help you feel alive, just, look to your villages. And sometimes it may be one or two, but then it may be like 100, right? But they do help you feel alive. And Miss Hannah said, it impacts my mood as long as I am in tune with
Mm-hmm.
spirituality. And Miss Elizabeth said, empowering gives me the strength to do the things that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Hannah says, my moods are good and positive, and those are the impacts that they have on their lives.
Yeah, it's there's no right way or wrong way, right? We talk about villages, we talk about empowering and and trying to figure out where where we stand with our moods as well. I think for when I'm in a I guess when I'm able to read my spirit or my inner monologue or like what's going on, or I feel like a little bit negative or that negative spirit, I'm like you. I'm gonna go ahead and contact my village. Hey, I'm feeling a little bit odd, a little bit off. Can you just remind me what am I today? Like, am I, so just getting those people that are going to give you those positive information and remind you. I think we need those, those people that are going to empower us, those positive social connections, right? Like we need those a lot.
Yep.
So what else are you guys are doing? How does your spirit impact your life? What else are you doing? What are you doing to actually, to, basically focus on your inner spirit, your inner monologue and how you uplift it? So what are
Well, I
you
will
guys?
tell you, Gresham, my villages keep me busy on weekends when I'm home, right? I'm gone majority of the time Monday through Friday, but baby, when a Saturday gets here, I mean, just this past Saturday, I thought I was going to be feeling sad. Although it's been 8 years now since my mom's been gone, and her birthday was just yesterday, and I didn't know how I was going to feel this weekend. I was feeling kind of like I don't want to be bothered and everything. And all of a sudden, my niece called. First, my best friend calls and is like, "Come on, let's go to breakfast." And I was like, I'm not turning down no food. All right, my
Mm-hmm.
energy is up, right? But then my niece has a baby shower that I totally forgot about, and then it goes from a baby shower to a women's empowerment lunch to a birthday party, and I was just like, you know what? They just know how to show up when my energy is low to get me out of that funk, you know. So it's really, really good to to have the energy of love and the energy of kindness
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's thinking about, I like how Hannah said, my moods are good and positive, and that's how it impacts. When you're good, when your moods are good and positive, they just take you in a totally different direction of always thinking about things and having a smile on your face to let
Yeah.
you know it's going to be okay.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. And really, I could connect and I could feel how you feel about that too. Like, um, because I sometimes I have to check myself, my energy too. Like I'm in when I come into work or I go into someone's house or party, like and things like that, you know what? I don't want to be the what is it called? The party pooper? Is it a
Yeah,
party pooper you
yeah.
call it,
Party
right?
pooper. Yeah,
Or
the
something
party
like
pooper.
that. But and reading my own energy and checking myself to making sure that it's not impacting someone else's energy or life, like their
Hmm.
spirit. If I feel that way, like, hey, I'm gonna connect with my coworker, like today, it's a really challenging day. Now that you have to share your story or anything personal to say today it's a bit off. Can't, I just need some time to decompress, to process what's happening to me. Just pay attention. I pay attention to my body a lot. So when it's angry, it's sad. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna accept that I'm sad and figure out why is it, affecting my spirit. So
Hmm.
I'm able to focus on the little piece, welcome sadness because sadness it is part of us, and just welcome it and just figure out the next piece. Okay, now what can I do to lift my spirits? Is it going to be listening to music, having a whole dance thing going on, party over here with my child, right? So those are the things I check myself to making sure that it's not affecting someone else's energy because my energy is off. So that's
Hmm.
another way that I make sure that it impacts, it doesn't impact someone else's life
Hmm.
in a negative way.
Yeah, you don't like to sprinkle your
Yeah,
the negative energy on other
yeah,
people if that's how you feel.
right. It's really important for us to be able to check ourselves. So
Hmm.
if you guys continue to add them in the chat,
Oh,
you're
Miss
welcome.
Elizabeth said,
Mhm.
I had a great friend state one day they were struggling. I acknowledged it by admitting that I was struggling the day before. I also let them know that I thought they were amazing because I really do. And you know what, Elizabeth? Sometimes people need to hear that. Sometimes we don't know that we're amazing until others tell us, right? So
Mhm.
I can honestly say you are an excellent friend. You are one of those friends I would love to call me and tell me to that I'm amazing. Gloat on me. Sometimes people have a hard time of, and I'm one of them, of people telling them you are amazing at what you do. I'm like, oh, stop. Okay, keep going.
Mhm.
Right. So yes, it, pour into your villages, pour into your families and your friends. And my coworkers are part of my village too. I pour into Greishen all the time, and she pours into me. And that's what keeps us open with the work that
Mhm.
we do.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's a balance. Thank you for sharing. Continue to add them. We're gonna go to the next question. Thank you for sharing and adding to this one. But we're gonna continue on the conversation. What inspires you? So it could be spiritually,
Ooh,
right? Ooh, what
what
inspires you?
inspires you? I
Go ahead,
think
Tiffany.
what
I feel
inspires
excited.
me
Uh-huh.
is people. People inspire me because I train so many people that I get the okay, true story example. I just trained a group from the YMCA, and I'm on this whole weight loss kick and everything, and I've lost some weight. And all I had to say was that one of the questions on in the vitality deck was about how do you stay open and everything. And I'm like, okay, now I'll work out, I'll walk more. I look at my pedometer every day and I'd be like, what? I walk 5 miles, but I didn't go anywhere but to the kitchen. It was how many times I went to the kitchen that mattered, right? So listening to them pour into me as well as I pour into them when it comes to self care inspires me so much. And it
Mm-hmm.
makes me love my job because it's not negativity, it's always something positive that makes me feel fresh and clean and good about myself. And people see it. So, what inspires me, Gresham, is when people pour into me and I pour into people, especially the people that I serve.
Yeah, thank you. We have Hannah that wrote, my children, they're always watching my every move and looking up to
Yes.
me and what I do. Yes, I
Yes.
do. Yes.
Yes.
And I have Elizabeth that wrote exactly what Hannah said, my children. Yes, I agree with that one. I have a 10-year-old that I feel like she inspires me to be better, a better parent, spiritually. Because I want to make sure that, she's not alone and just checking myself. I'm modeling what I want to see in her,
Mhm.
as much as I know, right? If I don't know, I'm going to go looking for the information so I could become a better parent spiritually, physically,
Mhm.
whatever I need to do. She does inspire me. But what another thing that inspires me, there's so many things that inspire me, but
I know.
something that I get reminded often, I see, Andrew, I see your hand. So something that inspires me like tremendously, it's like the seed I'm planting and what I'm leaving behind. So the footprint. Like, okay, I'm doing the work I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing because that's, I always expected to doing the work I'm doing right now, right? To assist and support and work in social services. But I think the imprints and the footprints I live behind. Sometimes I don't get to hear them, but
Mhm.
sometimes I see them in actions. Oh my
Mhm.
God, they really, I suggested, recommended, or they went to a workshop and things like that. And oh my God, I see them blossom. It's just that inspires me. Like the seed
Beautiful.
we planted and to
Mhm.
see it harvest, to see it grow, that
Mhm.
inspires me tremendously to see it. Like it just uplifts my spirit like so much. Like I don't know what other words to use, but it's just lifts it so much. Like I can only imagine how Tiffany feels doing the work, like traveling all these other places. And I'm gonna let her speak upon that. But what I'm saying that inspires me to and just to hear parents talk about their children. This is what I did. This is the next step I took. Now I know this stage where they're at. And, like now I'm able to
Mhm.
understand that a 10-year-old is, this is normal. So it's beautiful to see the growth, like, and,
Yeah.
see a harvest.
Yeah. Andrew?
Andrew, I saw Andrew's hand.
Thanks, Greishen. Thanks, Tiffany. Thinking about this question of what inspires me spiritually, I get a lot of inspiration from seeing other people on their spiritual journeys, and
Mhm.
I really appreciate when they share with me those spiritual journeys and they share an insight into their life. And for a lot of that, it just, everybody has their own story. Everybody's going on their own way.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate when there's that there's when there's intersectionality, my experiences have some overlap with theirs, but also when it doesn't, when they're experiencing something that I will on my life journey never experience, and they feel comfortable sharing that with me and telling me more about that. And I think it's very humbling and inspiring to think about how my spiritual journey, I will never experience the spectrum, the full spectrum of the human experience, and especially in spirituality. So it's very humbling to have people share that with me, and to think about that part of their lives. I don't know. That's inspired me.
Yeah. Thank you,
So
Andrew, for
true.
sure. Thank
So
you.
true.
You guys have anything to add? Raise your hands, comments, or they're more than welcome. Something else that I thought about, my what inspires me. And I think about my spirit in there, like, obviously, to me, this is the way I will answer it. Um, a limit, right? Like like being able to limit certain things, like,
Mhm.
this, like, that's what inspired me, limiting, like, this is what I could do, this is what I can manage, this is, not adding too much to my plate, not adding too much to my plate, right? Like just putting a limit that inspires me, like, oh my God, I'm able to say no. Oh my
Mhm.
God, that's good self-care. Like that's, and also is the, it just takes care of my spirit. It doesn't diminish it because I was able to put, uplift it by putting a boundary to that. So yes.
Mhm. And
Yes,
the
managing expectations
Mhm.
and boundaries. Yes, that inspires me tremendously. And that's the best way to word it. Thank you for adding that, Elizabeth. Tiffany,
Question,
we
I had to learn that the hard way. I was so I'm just like a born giver, right? Giving of my time, giving all of me into everything that I do. And just recently, I had to set limitations for myself because my spirit, once you give, 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 your spirit is down, not because you're giving, it's because you're tired, right? And so I had to say, okay, this can't be me. This can't be while I'm upset. This can't be while I'm mad, right? So I need to set boundaries and I need to set
Mhm,
limitations on who I'm around, what I'm doing, and what's bringing me down, right? So I've learned that in setting managing those expectations, Elizabeth, and those boundaries, I had to start saying no. I
mhm,
can't do this. No, I can't do that. But that helped my spirit so much that it made me feel good about me, knowing
mhm,
that even though I'm a giver, I still can say no and be okay with it.
mhm,
Right. And that not only helped my spirit on the outside, but it really struck me on the inside because I didn't
mhm,
feel bad about saying no. I can't do that.
mhm,
No, I won't be able to help you. Right. And so working on what inspires me is not only the spirit that I have and the energy that I have on the inside, but the energy on the outside as well, and how they reflect on each other to make me be a better me. And
mhm,
that's like what the biggest part of my energy is me being a better me. So I can be better for everybody else. Because again, we always talk about that cup, right? So that cup, you can always pour from a full cup, but can you pour from an empty cup? If your energy is not good, where are
Right.
you pouring from? Right. So I've learned, Gretchen, that even with my energy, if it's half full, it's okay. It's okay to have a half full cup as long as it's not empty.
Right. And yeah, and knowing your limits, right? Like knowing
Hmm.
what your limits. So yeah, I think sometimes, and I hear you say like, I am my own role model. I
Hmm.
inspire myself. So it's a great conversation to have. I think
Hmm.
often we grow up just to be inspired by, athletes, singers, or people that have done something successfully that it's all over the news or social media. So now I think it's really, really important. And I use it for myself, like, oh, I want to inspire myself. So that's why I'm like with
Hmm.
boundaries and expectations. So thank you.
Hmm.
All right. So we're going to move along to the next question. Please, please, please continue to comment and add to the chat. We want to hear your voices. Your voices are welcome in this room. Your story. I want to hear your story. All right. So the next question, how does your inner voice guide you? How? That's a deep one. How
It
does
is.
how does your inner voice guide you? Like, oh my God, that's a really deep one. Like when I say deep, like it makes you dig a little deeper, like investigate in there. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and for mine, my inner voice. Sometimes it's very harsh, very hard. Like, girl, check yourself. Like I be telling myself, like I be having one of those one of my moments, like Gresham, relax, breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. I have to check myself because then I start with the inner monologue talking like really self-negative, and that's not where I want to go.
Mhm.
So I remind myself to making sure I replace certain words with positive, with gratitude to switch it off because okay, I messed up. I made a mistake. Okay, what can I do next time to improve it? Or what can, you know what I mean? So just making sure I'm switching my words so I don't just talk so negative about myself. This is me. Would I talk to my friend like that? Would I talk to a colleague like that? Would I talk to my daughter like that? Why am I talking to myself like that? So I check myself. I've been having that one-on-one girl conversation all the time. Russian, check yourself. So I have Hannah that wrote, sometimes my inner voice is hard on myself. Yes.
And
And
we
how,
are our own worst critics, right?
Mhm.
And I have quite a bit of inner voices. I got quite a few of them, right? So they are for different times when I feel like someone is coming with some negative energy. I'm praying to God that my inner voice does not come through
Mhm.
my mouth. I'm really praying to God that it stays where it is. But um, I think my inner voice guides me to being positive even when I can't sometimes. Um, I get that rah, rah, rah. I'm hearing that my inner voice when I'm training Gresham is 80s music telling
Mhm.
me in my inner voice telling me that I can do it. Come on, you got this, you got this. So where I can't play loud music outside, inside I'm playing loud music, and that's where all of my energy comes from. But then I also have that inner voice that just tells me, you know, now why would you do that? You know better, right? So when you talk about check yourself, my inner voice checks me to say, Tiffany, it's not good. Try it a different way. It's not
Mhm.
working. But I think my bigger question is, do I listen?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't.
Yeah. I sometimes, oh my God, yeah, I hear you on that and I'm with you on that because I feel the same way sometimes about that. And then sometimes I also have in the back of my head, I think coming from the background I come from, um, and I hear the voices of the things that were said to me,
Mhm.
right? And I believe those things that were said to me. So my inner monologue, like my inner self, my inner spirit says those things. I was like, that's That's just a projection of them with me, their opinion, their perspective, their ideas. You know what I mean? They, you know, they have not been in my shoes. They, you know, they haven't practiced empathy or even sympathy to figure out why I felt the way I felt in certain things, right? But to avoid those things, like again, I start with those positive affirmations and gratitude. I have tons of post-its I put in my right here next to me, that remind me like what am I like, have some gratitude and always starting my day with gratitude. Like I think that's just, it has impacted me tremendously, and I could switch off from negative, like, you know, okay, you know, I'm not gonna complain today, I'm gonna do it in a different way, I'm venting, I just want to let it out and things like that, so I don't, you know, talk so negative of myself. Yeah.
Sometimes, sometimes my inner voice talks to me about giving myself grace,
Hmm.
especially sometimes when I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared for, so much as conversation or my work, my one of the vitalities, Gresham, is financial. Those conversations I'm very, very hard with having. And so my inner voice is always telling me, give yourself some grace. You can
Hmm.
always do it, but you can do it when you're ready. So those inner affirmations and giving myself grace is what really helps me when it comes to spiritual and
Hmm.
being positive and all of that humility, right? But checking myself, with that inner voice, just sometimes making sure it don't come out on the out in the outer voice. Miss
Right.
Brenda said, it reminds me that the things could always be worse, to be grateful for what I have. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a best practice, right? Sometimes I practice that
Mhm.
a lot. Like, this is where I'm at. This is the stage I'm supposed to be at. Let me be gracious and give myself grace. You know what? This is my milestone. I gotta enjoy this milestone because I'm gonna look back, I'm gonna reflect, and I'll be like, oh my God, I never lived that moment. I ever forgot about that moment because I never enjoyed it. I never welcomed it. I didn't allow myself to be present in that moment. Yes, extending myself grace. How do you give yourself grace? I don't know. There's so many ways, right? The way I do it is just by being present, being there,
Mhm.
not just being gracious of what I have, enjoying the moment, and not thinking of the future, not thinking of tomorrow, not thinking of the past. All the the past does it's part of us, but just being present, just in that moment, just enjoying it.
I'm
So.
the type of person, Gresham. I'm always, when I'm training and I'm traveling, even at home, I want to be prepared, right? I don't like for anything to just like spring up on me out the blue because then I'm not prepared, right? So when it comes to, that inner voice and how it's guiding me, I also have people that are on the other side saying, Tiffany, it's okay. Tiffany, you'll be fine, especially if a flight gets delayed
Mhm.
or I don't make it someplace on time when I know that I have it in my head that I want to be there at a certain time. I hate being late for things,
Mhm.
right? So then I have my inner self saying, constantly being positive, saying, Tiffany, you got this. You're going to go in
Right.
there with a positive attitude. They're not going to, see you sweat. They're not going to see the stress that's on your face and everything because you don't know how to do that. You do not know how to let people see the other side of you because you
Mhm.
want them to see the positive side of you all the time because it could be worse,
Mhm.
right? Miss
Yeah.
Elizabeth said, today was my best that I can give today. My best may be more or less than yesterday or tomorrow, but what matters is that I gave my best for that day.
Right.
Yes,
That's
Miss
that's
Elizabeth.
that's a good one. Yes.
Yes,
Every
yes.
day, every day, like today's best is not going to be like today's best is not going to be the same as tomorrow's best. Each day the best looks different. Today's,
Mhm,
today I conquer this and this, I achieve this, but tomorrow it might look different, and that's okay. I think that's really important. So it's great. Thank you for adding that, Elizabeth. I think also my inner, like, how does your inner voice guide you? I think my inner voice has guided me also. It has gotten me out of situations that I didn't want to be in. So thank God for that. I appreciate that part a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, good job, Greishen. Good job. Like, I applaud myself for those kind of like inner voice that have guided me in preventing me from situations I didn't want to be in, because I trusted my instinct. I trusted my inner voice. Also trusting it, right? How do we trust
Hmm.
it, right?
How do
Like,
you trust your inner voice? Yes.
yeah, like
That's a good question.
that's
That's a
a
really
really
good
good question for
question.
next time, right?
Yes.
But yes, but it's gotten me out of trouble for sure. Like, not in troubles that I was gonna get in trouble with, like, situations, but in situations I didn't want to be in predicament,
Yeah.
because I was able to listen to my inner voice, my body, my spirit. This feels a bit off. I'm uncomfortable. I'm gonna step away. So, and that's what I just did, and I do it in situations a lot. So it's a great way to prevent certain things you don't want to be in.
Yeah. And sometimes
So,
people come at you. Some
mhm,
people come at you, and you have to learn how to handle the situation. And I know for me, when they come at me and they come at me that's not in a correct way, I have to say, okay, okay. And I just sit there and smile and everything, not knowing that the wheels are turning in the back of my head, like, okay, the inner voice, please don't come out. Don't say that. Don't do that. And it's all about a control thing when it comes to the voices that you have inside. You know, we always want our inside voice. Well, I always want my inside voice to be positive, but sometimes it's just not the case.
mhm,
Sometimes you got the angel on one side and you got the devil on the other. And the angel is saying, Tiffany, don't do it. But then the devil was like, why not? Right. And so then it gives you like, okay, who do I listen to? Where do I go? But then, Gresham, that's when I think about what's in my heart.
mhm,
And I think about how would people feel if I
mhm.
went the devil's way, right? How would they feel if I didn't come with grace and I didn't come with humility? How would they feel?
Right.
And I don't never want anybody to feel less than, right? So it's always a check in my, even if they come to you incorrectly, you know, it doesn't mean that I have to approach
Right.
incorrectly and not be positive, right? My spirit does not lead me in that direction to be negative with anybody on purpose. I
Yeah.
always want to practice being positive, especially not just with the people that I serve, but with my family, because it's actually working with my family, and my family don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle me being positive and me saying, "Oh, it's okay." My
Mhm,
sister today is her mom's the day that her mom passed away. And I called her this morning and I can tell from her voice that she was not having a good morning. And I say, how you doing today? What we need to do. See, I'm always the one that wants to jump in and say, okay, what we need to do. Do you want to go out and
mhm,
get lunch? Do you want to go out, do you want to do something? What do you want to do? Do you want to scream? So offering myself and me being positive keeps her from being negative because
mhm.
I'm pouring so much into her.
Yeah. I yeah, I hear you on that. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Tiffany.
Mhm.
So now we're gonna move to the next question for this vitality domain. And the next question is, what do you want to teach your children about spirituality? It's a
Ooh.
really important key,
Mhm.
key component, when we're raising children, right? Could be our kids, it could be our nephews, nieces. We're a family member and we want to, impact children in our lives. So how are we doing this? What do you want to teach your children about spirituality? Please, 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 if you have, raise your hand if you want to add to the conversation, add to the comments, and we want to hear your ideas and perspective. All right. Who else we have? All right. So, what do you do to teach your children about spirit? Oh my God, I think we talked about the way what inspires us and things like that. And some of you guys share children. I think I model it. So to answer that question, what do you want to teach your children about spirituality? I model it as best as I know and how to do it. um, you know, um, and how do I model it? Like, again, those affirmations, those post-its, they're healthy. So she reads them, they're in my wall, you know what I mean? She's able to read those positive notes that I'm giving to myself. Those are love notes. Those are my love notes. So she's seeing those love notes. And she does have a diary. So she's, practicing a couple things. Like, it could be things that are bothering her and affecting her. It could be like, but since she sees that, I feel like she's actually writing things down because I'm modeling that. So I think that's a healthy way to help my daughter spiritually. And I think it's going to have, a good effect in the long run. It's a healthy way of relieving stress or something that's happening inside our bodies. I see Andrew, your hand.
I think what I really want to teach my future children is that I don't have it all figured out
Mhm.
with my spirituality, that I'm still on a journey. I know that my spirituality, how I approach it, is definitely going to change once I have children. And I don't want to. I think my parents did a really good job with raising me in a lot of respects, but I think one thing, looking back, that I would wish they had done differently is that they would have approached spirituality in in a way that didn't make it seem like if I didn't have it figured out by the time I was 10, I was doing something,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm.
where I really want my children to know that doubt is a key part of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially with faith, we're taught a certain thing in the world, and if we have doubts about that, that's okay. That's natural, and that doesn't mean that we're our spirituality is corrupt or something like that. So I just really want to emphasize to them that I don't have all of the answers. I can help them go look for the answers. We can grow together and learn more as father and child, everything like that. But I really don't want them to feel like, well, this is my answer and this is concrete, and if yours differs at all from this, then well, you're the one who's in the wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that happen with other people, and it's just, I think it does a number on the kid after a while. Um, so I want to definitely do that with them.
Yeah. I think I hear you on that, like um um being human, we come with emotions. Like, let's figure it out together. I don't know this. Okay, you know what? I don't know that. So let's figure this out together. Let's do it together. It's a journey together. Yes. Being human for sure. Like, I think we dehumanize us often, like, or people often do that, or I don't think they do it purposely, right? But I think just putting the human and the human back in there. Like, we're full
Yeah.
of emotions, we're human, we're human creatures. Like, so I think we're meant to feel things,
Mhm.
and those things are meant to be felt, and they're meant to teach us something, guide us, who knows, right? But I want to make sure that my daughter knows that, that she's human, that we're gonna welcome mistakes in our lives, and we're gonna fall, and we're gonna have to pick ourselves right back up and continue on with the journey, right? As long as that you're able to making sure that that I'm here for you. So mhm.
I really like this question. Before I give my answer, Miss Hannah said that is a good thing, and it will help them in positive ways every day in life. And Miss Elizabeth said, "I don't have it all figured out, and that's okay."
Mhm.
I'm so glad you said that, Miss Elizabeth, because parenting did not come with a handbook,
Mhm.
and if it did, I would be very rich, right? So I have young adults. I have a 26-year-old, 22-year-old, and um, I raised them into church, and it was always make them go to church until they get 18 years old, and then 18 years old, then they decide, if they want to go or not, and they just stop going, you know. And I've learned that I've had to be that positive parent um, to help them as they come into their own, because there was so much negativity around us, here in Chicago and everything, that it was very easy to get swept up
Mhm.
into the whole rigmarole of everything that's going on here. And I'm talking about gangs, selling drugs, and I had this young man and everything. So what I did was, as a mom, I put my kids in sports. All through high school, they were just like sports. It was cheer and it was football at all times. And teaching them about being positive was extremely hard, because they had a lot of peer pressure and a lot of negativity around them. So I had to always be that encourager. You can do it. You can do it. Even right now, my daughter at 22 just had a baby. And I always give, Ma, why you didn't tell me? Or Ma, why you didn't say this? Or Ma, why you didn't? And I'm like, okay, so now all the positivity that I've poured into you, you have to now pour into your child, right? And you have to do what comes natural for you as a parent. What type of spirituality you want your baby to have? Do you want your child to be open and honest and positive, right? And look at that. I get a grandbaby that smiles every day, all day, right? So how could you not look at this baby and not be spiritual, or not feel positive about what you're going to do in life? Because his mom, my daughter, she is just not the most positive person in the world.
Mhm.
But you can't help it, because I feel like God gave her a baby that was extremely positive, and maybe that will help her with her, because He
Mhm.
sure does help me with me in being positive.
Yeah, I think that's a really a way to a good way to think about it. I think for me, my daughter, she's she's amazing. She has a spirit. I don't know. But my job as her mom and is not to make her small, not to put her down. And I keep reminding myself, she doesn't belong to the world. She doesn't belong to me. She belongs to herself.
Yes.
I keep reminding
Yes.
her, like, I don't care. I keep reminding myself, and I remind her, like, you don't belong to me. You don't belong to the world. You belong to yourself. So I keep reminding her of these things, and I remind myself often. And when I started shifting that, like a lot, like I still I'm putting into practice a lot, and I started shifting that shift. It shifted my parenting style with her,
Mhm.
because once I understood that she's gonna be her own person and she's gonna have her own spirit, what I could do is my best. This is what I know, and I'm a teacher what I know, and it's up to her to decide if she wants to, practice that, if she wants to go
Mhm.
to church, or if she wants to, do the cards, right? Like all I could do is just model healthy ways,
Yeah.
model those things that I know what to do. Like you said, if there was a manual, Tiffany, you find it, let me know. I need to go buy it from you. But like, it's just reminding like that, like she doesn't belong to the world. She doesn't belong to me. She belongs to herself. So just keeping that in mind at any given time. And that goes with her spirits. My job as her parents is to uplift her, not shame her, not guilt her, because she's figuring it out herself. I need to model a couple things, teach her, give her tools to assist her and support her in her growth. And she'll
Mhm.
figure out her way. She'll figure out what's her spirit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, mom, today I'm off. She's able to say that to me, like, mom, I'm a bit not, not in the mood today to do this because I'm really tired. So she's able to speak up about her own spirit. So I like that, and I appreciate that because I I was able to assist her with that and guide her doing so. So she does it with her teacher, and the teacher be texting her. Well, she says she doesn't feel like doing this. She's feeling a little bit off. I'm like, yeah, just give her like 5 minutes. Tell her, to let her decompress, so like that the situation doesn't escalate. So she's able to communicate that, and I really, really like that about her. So yeah.
I
Anyone else want
wish.
to add? Go ahead,
I
Tiffany.
wish. I wish these conversations existed when my mom was was parenting when we were young, because I really do sometimes think that I think kiddos would be in a better space if I would be in this better space if we had like these webinars when, when I was younger, that my mom could watch and listen to, because parenting is so different when it comes to how we're practicing kindness and humility and grace, the whole spirituality, vitality.
Mhm.
It was so different when I was growing up. It's just like almost it didn't exist. But,
Right.
in having this conversation, it makes me very proud of myself that I do practice these things with my kiddos. I did practice this with them growing up, and I'm going to practice it further with other people. So this is a very great conversation on spiritual
Yeah.
vitality, because I mean, giving ourselves grace is extremely important when it comes to our spiritual selves. I will say for me, um, it helps me be a better me,
Mhm.
and I'm okay with that. Some people are probably not there yet, but I do know that I'm okay. I'm all for being a better me, and that's what it's and being open and positive. I know I can't be positive all the time, Gresham,
Right.
but
You're human. You're
yeah,
human.
I'm
Remember.
human. I'm human. That if I can't, it's okay too. I can always get back to
Hmm.
that place. So
Hmm.
giving myself that grace, knowing that I can get back to that space, and my giving my kids grace too, because sometimes they make those mistakes too, but they're not always positive. And I
Right.
just give them the mom look. And once I give them the mom look, you know, they bring themselves back together. But that's what I'm there for. I'm there to help them, and they're there to help me be who we are.
Hmm. Yeah, we have to do the hard work, and that hard work is hard. It's like unlearning, learning, relearning. So yes, we have to do a lot of hard work. I want to thank everyone for sharing and adding. Thank you, Tiffany, for adding. There is an ending poll. If you could complete that for us, we're coming to a close to our webinar. So once you complete that, we'll be closing, and Tiffany will be closing us off today.
So as you're completing that poll, always think when we do these webinars, we always want to amplify something, right? So I think my amplify is the amplify for today is amplify spiritual vitality, right? And Andrew said his is amplify spiritual fullness. And mine is amplify spiritual positivity. So let's put those amplifies in there. Let's let the whole world hear us as we're talking about spiritual vitality. So
Mhm.
drop your amplifies in the chat and let's see what you got. Question, what's yours?
Mine is amplify being human. I think
All right.
we can't take the human out of being a human, so we gotta make sure we amplify that a lot. So yeah.
Amplify being human is Gresham. So want to make sure that you put your amplifiers in the chat so they're heard all over and they understand, and everybody understands that when we talk about spiritual vitality, we talk about who we want to be. Hannah said, amplify being happy and healthy. Yes, Hannah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So keep continuing putting your amplifies up in there, and then join us as we celebrate spring into vitality. Join us on June through June 2022 for a variety of fun events that will bring us together and focus on community wellness and growth. Spring into vitality. Also, you're wanting to grow with us, so we doing a spiritual vitality, nurture your spirit through our virtual events. There's going to be yoga Saturday, May 14th, watercolor paint and sip Saturday, May 21st. Oh, I gotta
Ooh,
find
that
out where
sounds
I'm
fancy,
at,
right?
Gresham. Right. And then that social vitality. Join us for a virtual escape room where we escape the ice palace and save summer. Virtual escape
Ooh.
room Thursday, June 9th. I bet not be traveling, Andrew. I need to go to all of this. You guys are having too much fun on these webinars.
Yes, they all sound amazing. Sign up. The links are actually in the chat. So they're
Mhm.
there and they're on our website.
And every Friday, there's always a taste of something. So we are doing the taste of cafe, the mini hats that moms wear. So you'll be having a cafe on Friday, May 6th at 12 noon Central Standard Time. Please join because, I wear a lot of hats. Even though I have young adults, they still have to be parented. Oh, Gresham, you just have a 10-year-old. Try a 22 and a 26-year-old. Ooh,
I'm not ready
boy.
for that hair yet. Hold
Ah,
on.
had to have my gray with my braids. Yes. And be strong, families, webinars, staying strong and positive for ourselves and our children every Monday and Wednesday in English at 12 noon Central Standard Time and Espanol at 12 noon Central Standard Time as well. So please, please, please register for all the upcoming webinars. They're going to be so good and they're going to be positive and they're going to help you with your vitality, help you feel good and grow. And it's all about you. So stay positive when it comes to you. And don't forget self care.
Yes, thank you.
Don't forget to join us on our YouTube community. If you want to watch any past videos that Gretchen and I have done or any of the other trainers, by all means, go to YouTube and they're all there. Please leave a comment. And we want to thank you all for participating with us on behalf of Gretchen and myself and Mr. Andrew down there. Have a great day and spring into vitality. Don't forget, self care is very important.